Okay, problem pass-off sheet number 10. Your last one for this term, due March 8th, so that we can be done with these. Um, this is a play off of previous pass-off sheets. This is slope-intercept form. This is a huge piece of algebra. If you can do this, there's not much in the graphing part of algebra that you cannot do. So, I hope that you learn how to do this and you feel comfortable with it, because I wouldn't have put it on here if I didn't think it was important. You'll recall when we have slope-intercept form, we can graph without having to plot points, and that's why it's so great. You are going to take these points today and you are going to turn them into slope-intercept form. The process is not too difficult. The first thing we need to do is find slope. The formula for finding slope is, remember, m equals slope. We're going to take the second y and subtract it from the first y. And we're going to take the second x and subtract it from the first x. And you'll recall all I said was take this 2 and subtract it here. So I've got 2 minus negative 1. And then I take this one, subtract this one, 2 minus 1. So we know when we have two minuses together, that's really a big plus. And so I have 3 over 1. And so m, my slope, equals 3. That's good. Hang on to that because that's part of your answer. Next, we need to find b. You recall slope-intercept form looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. So we just found m. We could plug that right in there. So y equals 3x plus b. Now, how do I find b? I have too many things missing. If only I had an x and a y somewhere that I could use. Oh wait, I do, right? I have a whole bunch of them right up here. I've got this set, and I have this set. So let's use the 2 and the 2 just for fun. So the first one is x, the second one is y. So for y, I'm putting in a 2. And then for x, I'm going to put in a 2. It's convenient that they're both the same number. And then we can solve for b. So 3 times 2 is 6. And then I just need to subtract 6 from both sides. And that should get b by itself. So b is negative 4. Alright, now I found everything I needed to find. I'm just going to plug it back into my formula. And if you don't mind, I'm going to erase this. I'm just going to plug it in. Instead of b here, I'm going to write negative 4. Now I can erase this plus sign because it's a negative 4, not a plus 4. So negative 4. This is the last part of my answer before I graph it. Now we know how to graph this. The negative 4 tells us where to start. And the 3 tells us where to go. So negative 4 on my y-intercept, my y-axis right here. Okay, so negative 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. Okay, so I put a dot there. And then from there, I use my slope. Now my slope is 3. When I use 3 as my slope, I need to change that just a smidgen. I'm going to turn it into a fraction, and I can do that by just putting a 1 underneath. If it already was a fraction, I wouldn't have to worry about it. But it isn't, so I did. So what this tells me is the top number tells me how many to go up or down, and the bottom number tells me how many to go over. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Put a dot. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, over 1. Put a dot, and you're done. Just draw a line right through there, and that's how it looks. Now you can check your work by plotting these points right here. If they land on your line, you did it correctly, and we did. Okay, so let's look at the next one. I will give you at least a little piece of it. We're going to find the slope. We're going to go 4 minus 3 and 4 minus 2. That gives me 1 over 2. So that's great. My slope is already a fraction. We like fractions for slopes. That's good. Then I just plug it back in. Y equals mx plus b. I'm going to use the 4 and the 4. Once again, if you pick two numbers that are the same, so if your points have two numbers that are the same, your life is so much easier because then you don't mess up which one goes in the x and which one goes in the y. So, in fact, let's not pick the 4 and 4 just to play with that. Let's go with the 2 and the 3. Okay, so we know the x is 2. So I put a 2 there. And we know the y is the 3. There you go. So I didn't mess it up. Yay me. So don't mess it up in the future. X, y. So make sure we're getting the y in the y spot and the x in the x spot. Okay, so 1/2 times 2 is the same as 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So I have 3 equals 1 plus b. I subtract 1, I subtract 1 to get b by itself, so b is 2. And our last step here is to put this into the formula. So I have y equals 1/2 x plus 2. It's a positive 2, so I can put plus 2. Alright, so this tells me that I need to start at plus 2 on my y line. And I'm going to go up 1 over 2. Looks like I did the whole problem for you, but either way. Up 1 over 2. There are more problems like this, and I'm going to look in the book real quick so I can tell you exactly. I believe it's in chapter 12. Chapter 12, if you want to try and do some of these, I would look at page 641, problems 10, 11, 12, and 22, 23, and 24. And that would give you the whole work through on this. If you're just looking for graphing, you could do 25, 26, 27, 28 on that same page. If you just want practice on getting the slope, you would go to page 633 through 636. And they've got a bunch of problems in here where you would try and calculate the slope. Okay, have a good one, you guys.